Hey guys, welcome back to the Geek Den, and today I have a really special video for you guys. I have been watching quite a few YouTubers recently, and one in particular I saw was doing a video on video games that you are emotionally connected to. Now that guy's name was Pete Fighter 2, and that then led me on to watching some other guys who had also done response videos to the original one, which it was from David Retro Games Played Badly. And I also watched Rollerxcore's really good video on this. So I'll be linking all of those in the description so you guys can check them out for yourself. They are just awesome videos. They got some real deep emotional connection behind their gaming passions, and I absolutely love that. So here is mine. So my first emotionally connected game pick is actually one that the other guys have already done. So I'm going to call this one a special mention. So it's not part of the original 5 games. And it is The Last of Us. Now this is the Game of Year edition, which I picked up quite recently. I already own the basic version when it came out, bought it day one. Absolutely love this game. If you haven't played it, pick up a copy, give it a go. It's now on the PS4 as well, which I'm definitely picking up a remastered copy for the PS4. This game is just phenomenal. Play it before The Last of Us 2 comes out later on this year. Highly, highly recommend it to you all. You will feel so connected to these characters, and you will really care about what happens to them all the way through. Really, really great game. Check it out. So my next special mention is a game that I've recently done a full playthrough of on my channel. If you want to watch those videos, the first one will be linked in the description below. You are welcome to go check it out. Let me know what you think. I have absolutely loved playing it, and it is Detroit Become Human. Now, if you have not played this game, please go out and pick up a copy. I was emotionally invested and connected to all 3 of the main characters. And not just them, some of the side characters as well. You really, really care about what happens to them in this world and how you develop. Because if, like me, you play the game as you would be that android, then you just grow so much with these characters. It's amazing. Quantic Dreams have done an amazing job with this story. I really, really recommend checking it out. So guys, now that is my special mentions out of the way. Now let's get on to the heavy hitters. And my first game has to be this. If you do not know what this is, you're not really a fan. It is Destiny. Now I have played Destiny 1 and Destiny 2. Now the reason that I'm so emotionally invested in this is probably because I've lost so much sleep to this game, playing with various clans around the world, having so much fun. It's the first game that I've ever played as part of an online community, and I have absolutely loved it. I have hated parts of it. I have been angry. I have been sad. I have been over the moon ecstatic when you complete your first raid, or even any of the raids for the first time, when you do it with that special group of friends that you only know online, you've never met in the real world. It's just absolutely amazing. I don't know if you guys are into Destiny yourselves, but if you are, hit me up online. I will drop my PSN down in the description, and it'd be cool to play with you guys at some point. So give me a shout. I absolutely love Destiny. I'm currently waiting for the next expansion release, which I believe is out in September, although that could be getting delayed. We will see. But yeah, I'm waiting for that, and then I'm going to plow onto it again. I've loved it. It's phenomenal. Now, the next game I'm going to go to is a game from my childhood. Now, when we were younger, me and my brother owned a Commodore 16. And we had loads of little games on there, little cassettes that you'd put in the tape thing. And people nowadays moan about loading times. They have no idea what loading times are until you're loading off of a cassette tape. But we had a cousin who had a Commodore 64, and they lived quite far away, so it was always a special occasion when we'd actually go and visit them. And when we got around there, we'd get on the Commodore 64 with him, and we would play, well, Dizzy for one of the games, but I'm not going to do that because one of the other guys has already done that. I believe Pete Fighter 2 did Dizzy. What a phenomenal game. But the other one that we would play is Batman on the Commodore 64. And man, that game was awesome. It was the first Batman game where you could use a grappling hook and you could swing from ledge to ledge, and it was just absolutely amazing. To someone who'd been playing on maybe like the Atari when I was down with Nan and Granddad's, or I'd been playing on the Commodore 16, when we went around there, that was like next level, next gen, and it was so cool. It was really great to see our family as well, obviously, but yeah, loved the Commodore 64 for that. So my next game is a game that came out on the Super Nintendo, and that is Secret of Mana. Now this game holds a really special place for me, and the reason it holds that is because I used to play this with my older brother all the time. Now I would play all sorts of games with my older brother, and I would always be second player. I would either be Luigi, I would be the princess, I would be the dwarf. I never got to be the hero until I got older and got my own copy, and then I could finally be the hero. But I used to love playing this with my older brother. And when the PS4 version came out, I actually bought both of us a copy for us to play that. Now, we've not got round to actually spending time together to play that game together yet, but we will definitely get together and play that over a weekend and have so much fun. Really looking forward to doing that. And also, there is now a Mana collection coming out very soon, so highly recommend picking that one up. There is Trials of Mana on that as well, which I believe has never been released in the UK, so I already have it pre-ordered, and I cannot wait to do a video of that on my channel. I will be doing a full playthrough because I love those games so much. Now, the next game, I'm going to do two games together. And the reason I'm doing these two games together is because these games really kicked off my passion for RPGs. And I love RPGs now. But back in the day, I hadn't played very many at all. If I hadn't actually played any at this point. And my first one that I played was Zelda on the NES. Now, I'd played some Hero Quest, I'd played some sort of D&D board games and things like that, but I had never played an RPG before this game. And man, this game was amazing. I loved that you used to have to go screen to screen. You didn't know where you were going. It was all completely hidden from you. And I'd find myself drawing all of the maps. So every screen you come to, you would draw, and then you'd find like a bush or something that you could burn, or a rock that you could push, and you'd always mark that rock or mark that bush. And it was just absolutely epic. I loved playing that game. And alongside that, another game that really gave me a passion for RPGs is Wonder Boy in Monsterland on the Sega. Now, I don't know if you guys have played this, but in my opinion, it is the best Wonder Boy game I have played yet. I know loads of people think The Dragon's Trap, but because of this game was the first I played, I just absolutely loved it. I loved that you could go out and you could go, like, hit the enemies with your sword and you would get coins, and then with those coins you could go and buy items, and it was just so cool. I loved that game. I spent so many hours of my childhood playing that game. I don't actually think I ever completed that game, so there's a challenge for my adulthood, and I'll probably find it a lot easier now that I'm not a kid anymore. But even still, that game was phenomenal. I love it, and I really hope, seeing as they've now done a remake of Wonder Boy on the PS4 Collector's Edition, and another remake of Wonder Boy The Dragon's Trap Collector's Edition, I really hope Limited Run Games or one of the limited game manufacturers release Wonder Boy in Monsterland. updated, regened. I cannot wait for that. Please, guys, get on it if you ever get the chance. Do it. So, guys, if you're keeping count, I'm cheating a little bit by putting some games together. But I feel that they go together with the emotional connection, and that is why I've technically only now done 4 games. Okay, 4 games. Right. So my next game, I'm actually going to do 6. So I really apologise, I'm cheating a bit. But my next games are Mortal Kombat, the original on the Mega Drive, and Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo. Now, the reason that these have such a special place in my heart is because when I was a child in primary school, I had 2 best friends. One best friend was from a heavy metal household who had the Sega, like his sisters all had tattoos and were metalheads, and their boyfriends, long metally hair. Like at this point, I was into R&B, hip hop, and like soul music, maybe a bit of pop as well. I hadn't come across metal and rock until I met this guy, and that's what introduced me to heavy metal. So that's my first connection with him and his family. And the Sega, we would play Mortal Kombat when I went around there, among other games, but Mortal Kombat I remember, and absolutely loved it. It was just so much fun. We'd sit on the end of his bed, and his little brother would be bugging us because he'd want to play as well. And we're like, nah, just one more game and then you can have a go. But it was just absolutely awesome, and what a great childhood. The other one, which again, I'm putting these 2 together because these were both my best friends in primary school. The other one was from a quieter, more sort of straight household. And interestingly enough, they had a Super Nintendo. And we would go around there and we would play Super Mario Kart. And again, had so much fun. They had this, it was the first place I'd ever had SodaStream. So we'd go around there and they'd be like, oh, what kind of concoction of drink would you like to try today? And then they'd make me up some concoction of drink, and we'd sit there together and just have loads of fun, smashing out games on the Super Nintendo. But Mario Kart especially, absolutely loved playing that together. So yeah, that's those 2 together because they were both the same part of my childhood, and 2 completely different sections, but loved them both. Both great guys. So the last game I'm going to do is a game that is actually really special to my daughter, and therefore, because of that, I have a really special emotional connection to it, and that is Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Now, this is a great little game all on its own. We originally played it on the Wii U, and when the Switch version came out, I picked that up so she could play that one as well. Now, this is one of those games where she hit a difficult level, she would ask Daddy to come and help out, and we would sit down and play it together. I loved watching her play. I loved watching her learn the levels and see how the different creatures reacted and the different enemies, and how she could accomplish all these different puzzles to find the stars and the golden mushrooms. I just absolutely love spending time with my daughter playing games, and this is the first game that she was really, really into, and that is why it will always, always be special to me. So guys, I'm really sorry. I just want to sneak another one in because one's just popped into my head, and that is Super Mario Bros. 1 on the NES. Now, the reason this game I have an emotional connection to is because both my parents are not gamers at all. They have never been interested in gaming. Before this, they'd never played a game. Even when we went to an arcade, they just weren't interested. But for a period of about 2 weeks, my brothers and I would come home from primary school, and our parents would be sat on the edge of our bunk beds playing Super Mario Bros. And for 2 weeks, we couldn't get onto the Nintendo because they were playing it every single day. I think my dad did quite well. I don't think my mum got past level 2, where you've got that big jump at the start. She could never get the hang of sort of holding down the B button and then pushing A. To run and then jump, so she'd always walk to the end and do the quick jump with the joypad rather than the actual buttons. But yeah, that one I just wanted to sneak in there as well because that's a really, really cool little story, and yeah, part of my childhood. So thank you guys for watching. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you don't mind that I snuck in a couple of extras there. But yeah, I've really, really enjoyed it. And this has actually given me impetus to go and play some old nostalgic games now. So thank you everybody who's been watching my channel, everyone who has subscribed or liked or commented even. Like, I really, really appreciate all of you guys' support, and I look forward to seeing all of your content going forward and showing you mine. So all the best, guys, and take care. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.